Well, this is very divisive. This is what some of you had to say at home. Susie agreed with Peter. She said, I worked a 4-day week for years. It was the best work and leisure balance. It's so important for our mental health. And Ricky said, a 4-day working week is ridiculous. How can someone like a teacher do this? If everyone can't do it, then no one should. Val got in touch and said, a 4-day week, what a load of rubbish. Let's face it, Britain is getting totally lazy. And David got in touch to say, a 4-day working week means less gridlock, less energy costs, more money spent on the economy by those on a longer weekend. It's interesting, isn't it? I would love to know what you think of this today, but I need to find out a bit more. So let's talk to Adam Ross. He's CEO of the global marketing company Awin. Adam, hello. Thank you so much for joining us. You are one of these crazy CEOs who is encouraging our country to be lazy. What are you doing?
Interesting question. I mean, this is not about laziness. This is not about reducing our ambition. We're an incredibly ambitious company. We have investors and shareholders that demand that from us, just like they do of other companies that they invest in. And we haven't set our sights any lower. This is about being very clear with our staff about what those ambitions are and really putting it to them to decide how best to achieve that. And we believe, I mean, I think Peter Dowd said yesterday, it was 100 years since we reduced from a 6-day week to a 5-day week. We believe we found a new sweet spot where we can achieve great levels of ambition, great productivity, and still maintain a healthy work-life balance, happier, more engaged staff that feel better, that want to stay with the company for longer. It's very attractive to new candidates. There's a whole load of benefits I can describe, and it's been a huge success for us, and we've been doing it for nearly 2 years now.
Amazing. Adam, I have so many questions. Okay, so I totally get it, right? If you're my age and you've worked really hard for, 30 years, and now you've got kids and you've got stuff to balance, I totally understand why my generation would do well on a 4-day week. If you're 21 and you've just left university and you're going to spend your extra day at home watching Netflix, you should be at work, shouldn't you?
Well, it's interesting. We have a very young profile in the company, actually, and people choose to do with their 5th day many different things. We have some people that have gone to further education. We have some people who've done an MBA, for example. We have other people that engage in the training and development programs that we provide as a business. So, people choose to do very different things. Other people focus on their health and well-being. Our sort of contract with the employees is that do what's right for you on that day. But when you do come to work on the 4 days that you're in, let's be super ambitious. Let's make those 4 days incredible and productive. And it's really surprising if you base that relationship with your employees on trust, if you assume positive intent rather than do what a lot of companies do, what a lot of traditional companies do, which is really assume that employees are trying to be lazy or trying to get one over or trying to slack off on their employer, then you'll be surprised at the results you get. I mean, we've seen it's such a massive incentive. People are really thinking carefully about how they choose to spend their time and coming up with much better ways to work that drive better results.
So you've still not convinced me, Adam. You've got to work harder than this, right? Tell me, as an employer, then, how do you manage it with the schedule? Do you have some people who say, well, I always want a 3-day weekend. I'm going to do my 4 days is going to be Monday to Thursday. And then you get some people say, well, I'd like the Wednesday off, actually. Does it cause conflict with scheduling?
So, our contract with employees is that we have to maintain a 5-day service, right? We have clients, we're a service company, and they need us to be available the whole time. We put it to the staff and say to them, you've got to organize yourselves appropriately so that our customer satisfaction scores continue to go up. And by the way, they have gone up by about 20% over the course of this trial period. So people can choose the day they take off, but they have a responsibility to their teams to make sure that they're available and that they share the responsibility of operating a 5-day service. And that works really well as well. So clearly the most popular day is Friday, but some people take Wednesdays, some people take Mondays. And it's really up to them. As long as they deliver for our clients, we don't mind how they organize themselves. And we track and monitor that very, very carefully.
Okay, so it's the tracking and the monitoring of the KPIs, right? Their key performance indicators. If they're not hitting those and they're only working 4 days a week, they might have some questions to answer. Can you see that there'd be some industries, Adam, where this just wouldn't work at all? People are getting in touch saying, what do you do if you're a teacher? How do you do a 4-day week?
It's a very valid question. I'm not here like the Labour MP or the 4-day week campaigners to say that this should be a standard thing across the whole country. All I can tell you is that for a business like ours, in an industry like ours, we've had tremendous success with it. Clearly, I think, with the advent of new technology, particularly artificial intelligence, if we're looking at a longer term vision, I think every industry, every area of the economy could look at this. But that's not my area of expertise. All I can say is that for a business like ours, and other businesses like ours should really look into this because the results are phenomenal.
Okay, Adam, you've almost convinced me.